Hi, this is Rick Harsch with one of my master classes. In this master class, we're going to focus on how you can write like Dan Brown. Because a lot of people out there wish they could write like Dan Brown. And first thing I want to say is that the letter I got today from Dan Brown's lawyer warning me to be careful what I say about Dan Brown, because they'll sue me if I say anything that's not true about Dan Brown. I understand the concern. Dan Brown is also a teacher of master classes, and I don't like to attack colleagues. I don't ever attack colleagues. And I agree with what Dan Brown says in the first 4 seconds of his master class, which is where I hit the skip ad button, which is that when you're writing, no one's watching you. It's true, no one is watching you. You're all by yourself. And to me, what that means is you're free. You're free because you can do anything you want. I've written a few things here and there, and people have come up to me and said, Rick, that took a lot of courage. And I always laugh and say, are you kidding me? I was home alone, behind a typewriter. I actually did use a typewriter. Not like a recent writer whose biography I read about that talked about how he was in the Jamaican wilderness and banged out whatever it was he banged out on a secondhand typewriter. Don't you just hate those fucking self-serving biographies? Anyway, I don't know about Dan Brown's biographies or even his books. All I know about Dan Brown's writing, I get from a trusted friend of mine, a great writer named David Vardaman, who he said he read the first paragraph or so of Dan Brown's first book. I don't know what it was called, I think it was called something like Holograms and Pheromones or something like that. If I'm wrong, don't sue me because I'm just guessing, and I'm saying that I'm guessing, but I know Tom Hanks would know. Anyway, he said it was so bad that he just threw the book away immediately and never got back to it. So that's what I know about Dan Brown's writing. I also know that he's short, and I don't know that he has a Napoleon complex, because when I say he's short, he's probably taller than a lot of midgets, and that certainly can help a short person feel better. And there's nothing wrong with being short. Jesus, I know a lot of short people. My daughter's kind of short. I just saw a short person at the grocery store today. No big deal. Maybe it will be in my fiction. Ho, ho, ho. But anyway, Dan Brown's height has nothing to do with what kind of writer he is and whether you should write like Dan Brown. Because I think you should write like Dan Brown. Now, Dan Brown's been accused of plagiarism, I believe. You can check your Google about that. And I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's not guilty. But what Dan Brown represents is the talentless schmuck who can make $1 million by, basically coming up with a lot of crazy shit. You could just go to YouTube and find some theories about coronavirus coming from a robotic rat's asshole produced in Taiwan, or is that China? And, that could be the start of a very, very interesting novel, the Dan Brown style, I think. I mean, I don't know what the Dan Brown style is. I'm just guessing. And going with my friend David Vardaman, who is actually in this class and will probably pass. Why will he pass? Well, here, I'll tell you right now why Dan Brown would pass my class and why you can pass my class. When you're ready, you just say, Rick, I'm ready for the exam now. And the exam consists of this. You write the introduction and the end of a piece of fiction of any length. In between, you have to plagiarize. And I have to be wrong about where the plagiarism begins and ends. If you can trick me, you pass my class. You and Dan Brown. Take care.